here, 2v2 Medean Cliff Mines, blue team. We have a couple of Grey Knight brother captains. First up is a word that I can't pronounce. Apparently this means momentum or something like that, so that's what we're going to go with. And alongside is Rags no Chinkonka. These are durable melee commanders that walk through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good offense and support. And up against a couple of Tyranids. First up, leemace is a Hive Tyrant, durable commander that walks through cover and cannot be suppressed. Very good offense and support. Begins with a basic synapse. And alongside, SuperHooper is a Ravener Alpha tunneling commander with great mobility, good offense too. Starts out ranged combat, capping a power. Triple Inquisitorial Stormtroopers for momentum, which is reasonably popular opening for Grey Knights. Put out a lot of ranged DPS, especially if you get sergeants on all of them, and those grenade launchers, which are awesome. And a strike squad up for Rags. Can the Grey Knights deal with the Tyranids? We will see. I think they're going to need to go heavy tier 1s. They can't try and rush to a land raider, I don't think. Just going to get overwhelmed. They need purgation and interception and all sorts of things. We'll see what momentum goes for. Rags has double stormtroopers and strike squad. Brother captain trying to tie up Termagant. It's taking a lot of damage though and retreats out. Pomegranat's capping there. Here comes some spore mines. Strat squad moving in. Heavy infantry, good both melee and ranged combat. Have high melee skill as well. 70 along, which is the same as dedicated melee units pretty much. Tier 1 dedicated melee units in a way. Chased off by the double Termagant spore mines. Just their mere presence backing off those stormtroopers who turn to engage and peel off a model. Hive Tyrants took a lot of damage. These stormtroopers do have a sergeant, makes them a detector unit and ups their DPS and durability. They should turn and shoot him up there, but they don't. They're coming to help out the north. Spore mines still being annoying, so just engage them in melee with the strike squad. They are a tiny unit type, I believe, so it's quite hard to hit them with ranged weapons. Here comes the brother captain back out of base. Begins with We Are the Hammer ability, which is an area of effect, damage reduction and speed boost, and there you see it. Can he lead the charge here? Strike squad are idle. Here they are moving. No synapse creatures on the field yet for SuperHooper, so nothing to target. In fact, he does have a warrior brood up, but they're not in this engagement. Pomegranats are forced off. And we do see a purgation squad from Rags, armed with these incinerators, which are flamers that suppress. Still triple stormtroopers, all with sergeants. No, this squad is getting grenade launchers though. Pomegranat's chasing them off. And spore mines in that retreat path as well. This is a dangerous engagement for these guys. Those guys suppressed. Didn't seem to do a lot of damage though. There we go. Gonna finish them off though, I think. These spore mines. Yes. Pomegranat's moving in. Only got one model as they were coming in there. 417-500. It's a double cap. Now a 2-to-1 for the Tyranids, and that is painful. I'm not sure how momentum is going to hold on with this triple stormtrooper tier 1. Brother captain forced off for both players. He's very slow, the brother captain. He's actually slower than the Hive Tyrant and the Chaos Lord, since he has We Are the Hammer to buff speed. Purgation being suppressed by the Barb Strangle here, which is countering them well. Ravener Alpha in retreat with some melee attacks, but can't get a model. Stormtroopers were attacking with their grenade launchers there. 393-500 is a 2-to-1 cap for the Tyranids, dominating so far. Momentum now getting a purgation squad. Hive Tyrant is hanging around with very little hit points. Broodnest has gone up to support this push. Here comes that brother captain. Still slightly underpowered, I think, the brother captain, especially in tier 1, where he doesn't carry much of a threat. If you compare him, I know you shouldn't compare commanders, Kael'tos especially doesn't really like it, but if you compare him to the Hive Tyrant with Rendin Talons, the War Boss with the Bang Bang Hammer, and the Chaos Lord with his Combi Flamer, you can all peel off models and threaten squads quite a lot and level up. He doesn't really carry any of that in tier 1. He has his Nemesis Force Sword, which does very little DPS, just 33 DPS. That is being buffed in 2.2. In fact, nearly all of his tier 1 war gear is getting buffs in 2.2, which should help him out quite a lot. 335, 500, a 2-to-1 cap for the Tyranids, still yet to take a victory point off them. Not sure this triple stormtroopers is working. Maybe if you had triple grenade launchers as well, it would. And leemace is just camped outside the power. Should be decapping it really. And capping this. Bit static over here. 318, 500, 2-to-1 cap. Purgation now burning down generators. Big aerial effect. Look at them. Affecting the node as well. Brother Captain will try and decap. Here comes SuperHooper though with a Raven Alpha. Upgraded Hormagaunts with their adrenal glands. No. Toxin Sacs on the Termagants though. You have a Barb Strangler Warrior Brood as well. And as you saw there, the Purgation unable to suppress those Hormagaunts in time. Did do a lot of damage, but they weren't able to suppress them. I do think they should be tweaked a little. They did suppress almost instantly when Grey Knights were added. People complained, but I think that was pretty good. Considering their range, they should be treated as a setup team in terms of counters. You should be looking at jump squads and the like to counter them. As it is now, you can just pretty much run in a quick melee squad, especially fleeting banshees and stuff. Yes, they do not have to set up like a setup team, but they have low range and they have the huge disadvantage of losing a lot of efficiency every time you take out a model, since all three models carry their heavy weapon. Take out one of them, that's a third of their suppression and damage potential gone. But I do think they need a bit of help in terms of how well they can suppress. You see how it goes. I know they were buffed in 2.1, so they do a bit more courage damage, which is what causes suppression, but not sure if it was enough. 265, 500. Grenade barrage from those stormtroopers, which is awesome and does help Grey Knights deal with melee. The Raven Alpha going for acid splatter, regenerate, and toxic miasma, or miasma. Not a build you see very often. Nice to see it up. Melee Raveners can be pretty nasty now, especially with regenerate, I think. Warrior Brood up for leemace. Not sure if he called them down in tier 2. He might have, in fact, since he has no rec position now. 263, 492, and no red either. Incinerate is in retreat. Looks like the Grey Knights pushing back a little bit here, but now the power is under attack. A Capillary Tower is up. Capillary Tower getting a couple of nerfs in 2.2. It will now grant experience, which it doesn't do now when you destroy it, which is a bit of an oversight, I think. Also will have less hit points since they are reasonably tough now, and it will not affect monstrous creatures, which it does now. A bit overpowered at the moment, I think, which is why I personally don't like to use them often. At the moment, I think people overuse them a bit. They seem to just spam them mindlessly everywhere, which will be a huge downside in 2.2, since they're going to give a hefty amount of XP. As you saw there, the Purgation Squad unable to suppress anything, easily tied up. They do have an ability called Clear Vision, which boosts their range, but still unable to do anything to stop the Warriors and the Hormagaunts getting into melee there. But they did get forced off for some reason. Scared of these grenade launchers, I think. Tier 2 for all players. We have Purifiers on the way for Rags. That would be awesome. Always like to see these guys on the field. 259, 490. Warrior Brood with adrenal glands now for SuperHooper. Turns them into a heavy melee squad with a fair amount of hit points. 1575. That's a lot of hit points per model. They lose a model there though. Grenade launchers decimating those Termagants as well. That's good play by Rags. Penny force off this Raven Alpha, which is causing a lot of problems. Wow, with that acid splatter. It's now a power melee weapon, this thing. The splash is not power melee though. As you see there, it's piercing. 259, 490, regenerate. Gives him some crazy health regen, especially when he's not in combat. And toxic miasma, constant damage around the Raven Alpha when it's activated. He's not destroying his tower here. Given that +1 speed to these Tyranids when they're out of combat is a bit odd. In Dawn of War 2 it actually counts when the unit attacks, not when they're being attacked. When you're being attacked, you're not actually counted as being in combat. So when they're getting shot at, they still have that +1 speed. 253, 487. Looks like the Grey Knights are stacking up now with 2 purgations between them. No sign of Psy Cannons yet. 253, 480, and I don't think they should go for Psy Cannons yet. A lot of people complain about the lack of AV for Grey Knights. They actually have a decent amount of AV. They have Psy Cannons, Las Cannon Rhino, and Crack Grenades. But this is huge engagement. We'll talk through first. Hell Fury Strike forces off a bunch of Tyranids. Purgation again, unable to stop anything getting into melee with them. Here are Purifiers. There's their Psychic Field doing plasma damage over time, which increases as the duration increases in amongst warriors. Really powerful melee squad, these guys. Power melee weapons and a heavy melee demon hammer. They also have the longest passive melee charge range in the game. This is an awesome engagement. Purifies wrecking stuff. Hive Tyrant, what does he have? He has the warp field, nothing else. Brother Captain with the Nemesis Force Halberd, the splash damage power melee weapon. Huge amount of DPS on this thing. And the teleport, you see him teleporting into these Tyranids. Really big engagement here. Purifiers charging around and smacking stuff around. Look how much XP they've got already. Another capillary tower here. 253, 436. Hive Tyrant chasing stuff down, keeping things tied up. Can't be suppressed, so incinerators can do nothing. More towers going up. 253, 431. Now he has the crushing claw and he's going straight after these Purifiers, and that Ravener is helping as well. They're taking a lot of damage. Almost lost the squad there in a few seconds. Wow, they do have a lot of hit points now. Purifiers, I think they're up over 2,000 with their Justicar leader. Nemesis Force Halberd, Brother Captain chasing down Warrior Brood. These Grey Knight players doing pretty damn well now against Tyranids. Tyranids considered to be very strong indeed at the moment. Grey Knights considered by a lot of people to be still a bit underpowered in some aspects. I was talking about anti-vehicle earlier and their purgation squads as Psy Cannons. The reason people think they're underpowered, I think, is they don't have that high burst damage like missiles and las cannons and stuff. Purgation have good DPS with their Psy Cannons, but it's a constant stream of DPS. And the way vehicles work in this game, always moving around, trying to get out of range, trying to tie things up. You might only have 1, 2, 3 seconds to get that DPS off. Brother Captain teleporting out there and gets away. You might only have 3 seconds to get that DPS off, and when it's a missile, doing a chunk of health in that single shot makes a lot more difference than Psy Cannons shooting for 3 seconds before getting tied up or otherwise forced off or something. And I think that's the big difference there. 253, 409. Maybe that's part of the thinking for Grey Knights. You have to work to keep your vocation in range and firing. Look at these Purifiers actually owning here, forcing off the warriors, but that Ravener Alpha is dangerous with acid splatter. He's level 3 now. Hive Tyrant up against the Brother Captain. Brother Captain again absolutely owned. Level 4 Brother Captain's going to go down in retreat. There's a sink kill. Down he goes. We have Warp Field and the bonded exoskeleton for the Hive Tyrant, so he is incredibly tough and doing huge amounts of damage in melee combat with those crushing claws. The most dangerous melee weapon for a commander in the game. 253, 391 in terms of single target damage anyway. There's the Psychic Field. Both Grey Knight players with Purifiers now. Are they going to really engage that Hive Tyrant? And here we see the Psy Cannons. Psy Cannons also have the advantage, of course. I should have said and made clear that they damage all targets pretty well and have an area of effect. Very different to other more traditional anti-vehicle weapons in the game. Missiles, las cannons and beamy death guns and bright lances. A lot different to use and try and make work well. And I'm not sure if that resource is well spent to get a Psy Cannon at this stage. Wait for the monstrous creatures. These stormtroopers are going to wipe. There we go. 230, 391. Should have tried to use the barrage to try and save them there. I think 226, 391. Tyrant Guard on the way for leemace. SuperHooper is tier 3 and Momentum goes tier 3. Brood Nest is taken out by the Purifiers of Rags, who have hit level 2, 22, 55 hit points on these guys now. Really powerful melee squad in this game. No sign of the Terminate Librarian to support them though. 219, 391. or the Force Staff to support them. Rags does have the Nemesis Vortex, an awesome ability this gives you. Hopefully we'll see it go off. Purifies in amongst these Termagants. There is the Psychic Field again. 208391 Swarmlord on the way for SuperHooper. Hormagaunts are going to wipe here, I think. No, they get away. Or do they? There was the Nemesis Vortex exploding on these Hormagaunts. Almost wiped them out. But they do get away here, unless this guy turns around and smacks it. No, 23 hit points, they get away. Here comes the Tyrant Guard, getting that +1 speed from the Capillary Tower here. I'm not sure if this guy is still going to benefit from the Capillary Tower in 2.2. I can't remember. I know Carnifexes and the Swarmlord won't get that speed increase. 154, 391. Lots of stuff going after the Tyrant Guard. The Tyrant Guard is a super heavy infantry unit, so taking huge amounts of damage from those power melee weapons, and down it goes in the blink of an eye. Wow, Purifies kicking the arse. They're now level 3, alongside that Brother Captain's Halberd as well, of course. Tier 3 for Momentum, has a bunch of red. It might be saving for a Land Raider now. Or maybe save it for a nuke and get some Grey Knight Terminators or something. Swarmlord is up, so they need to think about some AV. A monstrous creature with vehicle armor. This thing 2000 hit points, is quite quick as well, dangerous in melee, and has some great support, speed buff and reinforcement. Synapse as a Tyraniid formation. Bang! That was a strike squad getting owned there. Painful. Brother Captain of Rags needs to be careful, teleports out. It's a 2-to-1 cap for the Grey Knights. But can they hold on against the Swarmlord? leemace has lost a lot of stuff, it seems, just has double Hormagaunts and Termagants. Insane amounts of power floated. Haven't seen barely any power harass against the Tyranids. They are reasonably power light in tier 1. Purifiers for Momentum still level 1. Level 3 for Rags, now up to 2480 hit points. These guys are awesome. 132, 368 is a double cap. Can they come back into this? It's going to be a triple. So many towers around. Brood nests all over the place as well. Warrior Brood for SuperHooper with the adrenal glands. They are level 2, up to 1811 hit points. 103, 368. Hive Tyrant of leemace, lost the indicator for him. Still has the Crushing Claw, Bonded Skeleton, and Warfield level 4. Brother Captain still no war gear for Momentum. Really shouldn't be engaging the Hive Tyrant here. Not doing a lot of damage with his default power melee weapon. Needs to be tying up Termagants and Hormagaunts, not fighting a Hive Tyrant with Crushing Claws. Here you hear the Psy Cannons working on the Hormagaunts with that splash damage. They do more splash damage the closer the target gets to them, I believe. 43, 368 is a triple cap for the Tyranids, and they are dominating the map, and this is all over here. leemace has some Gene Stealers up. Something being dropped here. Is it Warriors? Yeah, obviously wants melee Synapse for his Gene Stealers, I think. Grey Knight Terminators on the field for Momentum. Ouch! Owning a couple of Warrior models immediately. And they already have their Liber Demonica. Gives them Hammer Hand. And there's the game. Triple cap at the end. Towers all over the place, not really dealt with. Grey Knights did reasonably well, just I think Momentum should have got some stuff for his Brother Captain. Didn't use him very well, was trying to tie up or engage the Hive Tyrant instead of fighting some of the smaller Tyranids. Maybe a Dreadnought would have been good. A Terminator Librarian as well with Smite and support for the Purifiers, who did really well for Rags. Would have been nice to see, but there you have it. Lots of changes coming for Grey Knights in 2.2, so we'll see how they stand up then. Thanks for watching, guys. I will see you next time.